All right, this is Daniel Jones' breakdown. This was his long run against the Eagles on primetime TV, which led to him falling. It was a pretty viral moment. So what I'm going to do is just going to break down a couple things that he did right, things that he can improve on, and go from there, and what led to his fall, all right? So starting out, a couple fun facts. It was said that Daniel Jones got up to a max speed of 21 miles per hour. Now, that is very good for any athlete, but particularly NFL quarterback, right? We don't really see NFL quarterbacks reaching that top speed. The closest person would probably be Lamar Jackson, but they rarely have this opportunity where it's just green grass, a lot of space, clear path to the end zone, right? This rarely happens, but from today, what we'll learn is the importance of running and doing max velocity training, max velocity mechanics, because you never know when you'll have that path, right? Usually with football training, we like to focus a lot on acceleration, which is key, but it's a lot of 0 to 10 yards, 0 to 10 yards, maybe 20, no more than 40 at max, right? That's why they test the 40. But there's times like this where you have to run dang near the full length of the field, right? And your max velocity and your mechanics max velocity, how you attain it and how you maintain before you slowly decelerate, is very key, right? So going forward, we're just going to look at a couple things. So we're going to start off. He's turning the corner, right? And what I like right here, he's starting to accelerate. And you can tell he has nice body angles, right? The shin angle, and we'll zoom in just slightly a little bit right here. Shin angle matches torso angle. Those are great lines, right? That means he's getting great horizontal push forward down the grass, right? Down the field. So we're going to keep on going forward. I like great push, right? You see that extension, and he's attacking down. He could attack a little earlier down, but as you guys probably heard me discuss, that's going to be a hamstring issue, right? And a lot of people, and a lot of athletes in general, we don't focus on our hamstring strength, but our hamstrings are what give us our speed, right? So he's going forward. He has great projection, great lines, all right, really accelerating, all right? He has great forward lean. It's looking good for him, right? This is good. And in this area, all right, keep him running. You can tell he's looking good because once he hits the ground, he has little to no gap, right, from his front to back knee. That means once he hits the ground, he's absorbing and producing force quickly. There's less braking force, so he can just keep on pushing forward, right? So in this time, he is probably reached close to his max speed. I want to say he reaches his max speed right around here, right? So he's up to 21 miles per hour. For football athletes, it doesn't take them that long to reach their max speed because we talked about it. They're usually used to running 40 yards, right? And so when you have a fast acceleration, you can hit your max speed quickly. But as we know, with sprint speed, you can only hold your max speed for maybe a second or so, right? So you're not holding it for that long. So now the importance is max speed mechanics and having the ability to maintain and withstand those high speeds, right? So we're going forward, and as we can tell now, it's starting to see, right? He's starting to create braking forces, right? It's not as bad right now, but as we go, keeps on running, it's clear path. Once we get to around here, you'll start to see a difference in the shin angle, all right? And you'll start to swing out a little bit more and reach, right? But what I do like and what we'll point out is he's getting great arm swing. Even with the football, he's getting great arm swing starting at the shoulders, right? His elbows are bent, swinging back, and it's looking good, right? So anybody else, if they just kept the mechanics and had great top end work, this is a clear path touchdown, right? Anybody else, right? But now as we go, we start to see, right, as he goes, and we'll pay attention right here. I want you to just look at his recovery, right? So take it back a little bit. As he pushes, all right, his leg swings forward, right? From right here at this position, right? Ideally, he wants to attack straight down, right? He's entering his top end. He wants to attack straight down. Want to get that vertical force, all right? Horizontal force is canceled out at this point, right? So ideally, that's what he wants to do, right? But I want you guys to pay attention to the shin angle and see what it does. So his forward shin, what it does is it continues to swing forward, right? And so it reaches down and he starts to get a lot of heel strike, right? So when he starts to do that, you notice there's a bigger gap from here. So now he's creating more braking forces going into his run. And now you combine the braking forces with that still overly forward lean, right? Now it's a recipe for disaster, right? So now it's just a matter of time before he starts stumbling, right? And right here you can really see it, right? See how big that lean is and how far forward he's leaning, right? Now, instead of having his hips right underneath, closer in this area, now they're slightly behind. So his hips are behind and his torso is forward, right? So this is where the stumbling really starts, right? Because at this point, he's not used to running for this long, right? At this point, the 40's over, or he's already been tackled for whatever reason, right? He's not used to running this long. So all he knows is I'm going to keep on pushing, keep on running. He's expecting to get tackled because he's like, yo, this is crazy. I've never run this long, right? So now you really see big back kick. That heel is going to come up close to the back. He's leaning super far forward, right? He has big braking forces, right? I want you guys to look at how big this gap was, right? Look how big this gap was. Remember, look back how small his gap was when he started earlier in his run, right? So he's really leaning, really going, and now he's really just stumbling at this point, right? You could tell right here how big he's hit the ground, and that back leg still hasn't even started moving forward. That knee hasn't even started moving forward, right? So he's stumbling. He's looking at the Jumbotron. I'm sure he's probably out of breath, like, dang, like, why am I running so long? And now, but as a result of that, his knees aren't coming that far up. So when your knees don't come up, you can't put that much force into the ground. So factor that in with your knees are coming forward instead of them coming up, they're coming forward, right? And your shin angle is coming forward. So you're going to trip, essentially, right? Because everything's moving forward and it's not coming up. So you're going to clip the ground and you're already overly leaning. And it's just a matter of time. He's just like, oh. Right there, boom. And this is where it starts. And he falls, right? He hits, and just look how big the gap continues to get, right? Just because he's not used to running for that long. And he's damn near horizontal with the grass, right? He's flat out, right? So he falls, boom, eats it, and goes down, right? So although in football you don't run for a long time often, it is important to work top end mechanics, top end speed, and max velocity mechanics, because you never know when those things can happen, right? Unless you're someone like Tyreek Hill or DK Metcalf. But DK Metcalf's another story. You can get away with bad mechanics and just run past everybody, right? So poor Daniel Jones is now rolled over. He's going to get caught. He had an easy walking touchdown, but, due to poor mechanics, he's on his back rolling over, right? So what I like, this part right here, this is hilarious right here. You could just tell, right? Look at his face. He's grimacing. Great arm swing, but he's over here like, they're about to get me. They're about to get me. And he's struggling. Look at his face, just wincing. He's like, bruh, I ain't never run this fast in my life. So he's over here and he's just like, I can't take it, I can't handle it, all right? And this is another lesson as well in top end speed is it's all about relaxation, right? The more tense you are, the faster you're going to slow down, the faster you're going to decelerate, right? And you're going to get caught, right? Or in Daniel Jones's example, you're going to fall flat on your face, right? So it's very important not to grimace, tense up, but to relax, right? So hopefully Daniel Jones learned from this. And I think he did because this past week he had a 30-yard run and he looked smooth. But, it's just something he can look back at, laugh. Fortunate for them, they scored, but this would have been even more hilarious if they didn't end up scoring, right? I want to play this full speed just so you can see him grimacing, and it just looks hilarious.
Been that kind of year for the Giants offensively. Oh, man.